Well, welcome to Marshfield Broadcasting's channel, and thanks for joining us. It's council preview, and it's going to be, it's still October. I was
Yes.
thinking it was going to be November, but it's not. We have one more week of October next week, and we're going to talk about two meetings, Monday, the 27th, and Tuesday, the 28th. And Steve Barg, our city administrator, is with us, and our mayor, Lois Teestrink.
Great to be here with you, Tom.
Yes, thank you.
All right, we got a lot of stuff on the agenda. I didn't think we'd have this much, but
Yeah,
you do have
we
a
do.
lot. Let's get right into this meeting that's now going to be a special meeting after a plan commission meeting on Monday.
Yeah, well, remember at the last meeting on October 20th when we said, well, the budget's done, let's hand it off and send it to public hearing, right, Lois?
Right on.
And then what happened? Okay.
Oh.
What happened is actually good. It's been something that Jennifer Solinsky, our finance department head, the director, has been kind of hedging it on a little bit. We went into an agreement with Marshfield Clinic on a tax abatement case, you may recall. And it was kind of a compromise. Neither side got everything it wanted. But as a result, we had a refund being provided to them for taxes paid. The question came up with how that would be treated by the state of Wisconsin, because it was a very, without getting into it, it's a very different kind of agreement that we reached. Very abnormal, but it fit for everybody. And there was a question as to how they would treat it. Well, at the end of the day, they treated it the way we hoped that they would, and they're giving us a refund of $355,000 for a chargeback. And again, we thought it might be coming, but we just couldn't be sure. So here we are. That's a good problem to have.
Absolutely, great problem.
It's not like a $355,000 negative.
Right.
So what's going to happen on Monday night is the council, we're going to go through it with them, and they're going to have their alternatives in front of them. They could put back some of the things that were cut. They could look at that community development director position. They could do a lot of things. They could put it in contingency for now with the idea that they'll study it and maybe look at any kind of additional spending in early 2026. The field is open. Jennifer Solinsky, our finance director, will go through some things, and she'll talk about being prudent. I mean, it's not Christmas. We didn't just open a present and away we go. We've got some other things coming down the band that we need to be preparing for too. So we want to be thoughtful, we want to be prudent, but it'll be an opportunity for council to decide what they want to do with the additional revenue. Even if they just end up putting it in the bank for the future, it's something that they need to talk about. And it's a good thing at this point to have that problem.
Yes, that's for certain.
All right, so this is a one-time deal, right? As of right now?
Well, I mean, the payment?
Yes.
It's believed that potentially it could carry into future years as well, so it could end up being a benefit. But right now, we're just going to take it as a one-year type thing. And again, Jennifer will explain more on Monday night.
Okay.
We also do have on that meeting agenda, though, if you notice, if you look in, we have the request to approve the 2026 to 2030 capital improvement plan. Very few changes have been made since what the council saw on July 31st, but a lot of the expenditures in the budget tie to the CIP. So we want to make sure once and for all that they give a blessing to those few minor adjustments that have been made, and that gets signed off on as well.
Okay, so that's in addition to the last budget meeting, is bringing in the CIP into it as well.
Yeah, we normally would have been done with
Right.
the capital improvement plan back in late summer, maybe midsummer, but it didn't happen for a variety of reasons. We're dealing with some debt issues. Obviously, we have the police department project in the mix, and that's a large project, taking the old Wildwood Plaza building and repurposing it. But we're ready to hopefully get final sign-off on this now. We worked with a financial advisor from Ellers, Kayla Thorpe, and I think we're ready to go.
Okay, that meeting will take place at 6 o'clock or after the Plan Commission meeting, which is
Yeah.
a special meeting as well.
Yeah, Plan Commission is a one-item meeting regarding a conditional use permit for iState, great company who's building in the southeast part of our community.
All right, sounds good. And then we're going to turn to the next day, which is our regular council meeting of the month, which is the last of the month on October 28th, 6 o'clock. And that's where we have a lot of items. And this is usually our regular business items, but there's still quite a few things. And you have a lot highlighted. So
I do.
want to get right to it. Am I
I
missing
do.
one? Anything? Yeah, right to the consent.
Right to the consent agenda. The first one is on the police department. They've been doing a restructuring, and Lois, I know you've gone to their meetings. The police chief has an idea on how to be more effective and efficient, especially with emergencies.
Correct.
And the idea being that if we have a new sergeant rank in the patrol division and the detective bureau, that could be beneficial to the city. So looking at doing that, that's one of the things that he's got on the list here as part of this restructuring plan. Another one is the Administrative Services Coordinator, Lori Crookston, who's done a wonderful job for roughly 3 decades, is leaving here, retiring from the city here in November. And so that brought the opportunity, what do we do now? Do we just fill that position? Well, the chief was looking for some opportunities. He found a way that maybe some of the work could be divvied up among the record specialists. and maybe the office coordinator position could be kind of increased, if you will, to take on duties as well, and basically be, I guess, promoted in a sense to the administrative services coordinator role. It'll save the city a lot of money. If you take a look at the back page of what I gave you, I think, the back page of that memo, you see that they're going to ultimately save about $65,000 by doing this. But what's required, the Fire and Police Commission, Tom, signed off on this. They think it's fine. It'll make them good in terms of having this additional rank. There is a letter, a side letter, that will have to go through the process with the union negotiations next time around, but the union was fine with it, and management was fine with it, so that's all good. And otherwise, really the council's role is to approve the side letter and then to approve the shifting of the finances. There's no new money in it, but just a changing in how the operation is being financed. So I think they'll probably be favorable. I think it's good. I commend Jody Gerink, the police chief, for all the work he's put into it, and we'll see where it goes.
Yes, very good, and nice detail to make that work happen.
Okay.
Yes,
Very
thank you,
nice.
Jody. That's great.
Okay, so we, just so everyone understands, they're gonna go to a sergeant role?
A sergeant, they're adding a sergeant role in the patrol division and the detective rank.
Okay, so is it just one sergeant? Is that how that works? Or is it, maybe,
Yeah, I
I'm not
believe-
sure how that works.
Yeah, I'm looking at that again. I think it is just adding a sergeant. Let's see.
Or
saw
maybe
that-
it's
I saw
a
this minute
certain
ago.
area.
They're adding a sergeant rank. It doesn't say how many there actually
Okay.
will be in that rank, but it'll be second in command of lieutenants. That's the main focus, to insert that role.
And and I don't know, is that a union position then, or not a union?
It is not a union position, but I
Okay.
don't believe it is, but there's an effect potentially on the unions and the wages and
I
stuff.
see how that works,
And
yeah.
who's going to get paid. That's
Yep.
why there was a little bit of heartburn about whether or not we could do it now, or do we have to put it in the contract
Okay.
later on in 2026 when we start renegotiating. But it will be a side letter that will be reviewed at the time of the next contract negotiations.
And it's not that they're going to hire somebody else. They're
Right.
going to just
Correct,
promote somebody.
correct,
They're going to give
correct.
them a
It's a
different
promotion.
title. Yeah, because it maybe sounds a little bit like they're going to hire somebody. No, they've
No,
got
they're
their
not.
officers, all they need. They're just going
Right.
to, they're going to put everything rank and file to make it easier for them and for us to understand. So
Right.
that, again, thank you, Jody. This was good to deep dive her into this. And he's been talking about this for the last
long
couple of
time.
years, and guess what? He made it happen. So this is great.
Really good clarification there,
Yes.
Lois, about
Yep.
what's going on here. Because you might think, well, times are tight. We're adding more people here.
Yep,
But
nope.
that's not what's going on.
Correct. Yep. And again, we're going to save some money.
Yep.
And I think
lot.
some of it came in working with other jurisdictions.
Correct.
So they
Yeah, correct.
understand when they call,
Right.
where's your sergeant? Well, we don't have a sergeant.
Right,
Well, now
exactly.
right.
Now
And
they can,
that's
yep, they
why,
can
yeah,
actually know
right.
where to
Because
go
I know
to
Rapids
rather
has
than-
a sergeant. I'm pretty sure they do. They have all those ranks.
Yep,
So
right.
but
Yeah.
I mean that's everywhere. So all right, let's move on. What else do we have here under consent? I don't want to miss it. RFP, real estate acquisition for West Fifth Street reconstruction project.
Well, I've been here since 2011, and it seems like we've been talking about rebuilding West Fifth from Chestnut to Oak since the day I showed up. I don't think that's quite true, but it's been a long, long time. And of course, the money is tight, and getting reconstructions done is hard. But it's scheduled right now for 2027. Yay! But in order to do that, we are required. We get a lot of money from the state for this, project from grants. Typically, I think it's about 80%, 20% between the state and the city. I think that's what it is here too. But the city is required to do any real estate acquisition, which mainly consists of temporary easements. So if you own a house out there, Tom, and like they want to dig out in the right of way and out there, well, what's going to happen? Is it going to get restored or whatever? We end up paying people for the disruption a little bit, but then we restore the property. And so we need a real estate expert. The city doesn't have anybody expert at this to say what's it worth for someone to have that disruption for a period of however many months it is, and before the restoration occurs, and then make offers to people to buy, if you will, purchase temporary easements during construction. And so that's what it's about. We're doing an RFP to find somebody to be the one who can actually conduct the process, do the negotiations, close out the documents, and get these temporary easements in place.
Okay, that's not buying property. It could be. No.
It could be. But it could be. We talk about real estate acquisition, but for the most part, I believe it's simply just getting easements temporarily to use the property during the construction. And the main thing, I think you probably know this, Lois. A lot of people complain if you don't restore it properly, but to get it reseeded or resodded, make it look nice. That's all part of the program as well.
Did we do that on any other the bigger
Oh,
ones?
we've
have. Huh?
gotten temporary easements for a lot
Okay.
of projects. Yeah.
Okay.
You're always ripping up that area down toward the curb and in a way that,
Right.
that oftentimes you go onto people's property a few feet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and then you need to make sure that you're making them whole.
Okay.
They're usually okay with it as long as you fix it up when you're done.
Right.
Okay.
But we have to pay money for that.
Right. We're not to that point that if it had to be widened and something had to be
No,
moved.
no, we're not talking about buying more right of way or anything.
None of that. Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. I haven't seen any evidence of that.
Okay. All right. And now, Plan Commission, Mayor, you sit on
Yeah.
that. Approve designation of 312 East 9th Street on the local historic property.
Yeah. Have you been by there or in there before?
I've been by there. I live right in that area
That
of
area?
town, so I drive by. Beautiful church. I was really happy that the gentleman who owns the building was there at the Plan Commission meeting. He didn't say anything, but he was there in case we had questions. I give him kudos for keeping the outside of the building just like it is.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
done some renovation on the inside, but
Yep.
the outside is, and it's just beautiful. And I'm excited for the Historical Preservation Committee to bring this to fruition. So yet again, one more place that you can go see another historic building in Marshfield. Apparently, when this building was built, there was only one architect in Marshfield, and the
Yeah.
name escapes me. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Gustav Krazen.
Yes.
Yeah, he was the only architect apparently at that time, and he did some other drawings and some other renderings, and it's neat to see. I hope that some of his family still maybe lives here or will appreciate the fact that his drawings, his renderings, his stuff is still here. That's pretty exciting.
pretty incredible.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Tom's looking at some of the pictures.
Yep.
It's incredible. I mean, I got a tour from Michael. Michael walked me through there, and it's amazing how beautiful he's kept it up and how great it looks. If you look back to the first page, the memo at the beginning of this, you'll see that you might think, well, wait a minute, do you just get a building designated as historic because it's old? No, not
No.
necessarily. There's 5 criteria. If you look back at the memo that James Levin, our city planner, did, it has to be architecturally significant. It needs to be historically significant. There needs to be an architectural integrity. You have to have some documentation, all those kind of things before you say, yeah, this belongs on the historic register for the city of Marshfield. But I really agree with what you said, Lois. These properties, and I'd encourage people to find where they're at. You can do that. There's maps available and whatnot. And go drive by some of these. I mean, they're pretty amazing structures.
Yes, they are. We still have
Yeah.
great stuff going on, and it'll give you another section of town you've never been in before. And hey, what's that? I've driven by that church how many times in my life and didn't realize now, and it's going to be a historic registry. So again, thank you, Historical Society, for making this. One more reason why we need to support those folks also.
Yeah, when I came here in 2011, one of the things I learned pretty quickly, Tom, is how much history this community has preserved.
Yes.
And it's really cool. I mean, we haven't knocked down old buildings. We have districts, several districts, where there's whether it's a Fifth Street houses or whether it's the downtown buildings, where heritage has really been well preserved. And it's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was just reading the memo here. And it's not a church any longer.
No.
No.
Zion
no, it's
moved
not.
out. Aren't they over by Aldi's? Is
They
that-
are.
Yes,
They are
yes.
over by Aldine.
Okay, so they moved out. I don't know when, but
Oh, it's been
Been a while.
long.
Quite a
oh my
while.
gosh!
Oh,
yes,
really?
Yes. Yeah.
so it's owned by a resident here.
Correct.
But is it open to the public? No.
No,
not
it's
right
not.
now.
No,
But it's just on the
and
registry.
he's got some wonderful
Correct.
organs in there. He's got an incredible organ collection.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to open it up to the public, he'd have to get some things taken care of with the building and zoning and stuff like that, because it's
Okay.
not meant to be a museum where it is. But for right now, it's just a house, and
Okay.
he'll let you see it as an individual. But otherwise, he lives there, and it's a beautiful place.
Yeah,
Definitely.
really
definitely by the photos it does. So
Yep.
It's incredible.
maybe someone plays that organ or something. I seen it in here.
I cannot believe how many beautiful organs he has in there.
That is pretty cool.
incredible.
It's
What a
amazing.
what
Yes,
a story.
definitely.
Maybe there was a story. I'm sure there's been a story done on him in the past.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. There was some clippings included with the application to the Plan
Okay.
Commission that had articles from when the building was
Okay.
being remodeled or whatever was going on.
Wonderful. All right, we'll keep moving on off of consent, Steve,
Yep.
and move into our action items. We have a municipal code amendment. It's a mouthful, and I'm just trying to read it. I'm going to have you say it because I'm not reading anything more than what that section 2-130 is at this point.
Are we on the same one?
Joint municipal
Oh,
court.
the municipal court.
Yes.
Okay. All
Yep.
right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. Yeah. What's going on here is Judge Cruz has been for many years our judge here in municipal court. The code used to say, Tom, up until 2015, if you wanted to run for judge in the city of Marshfield Municipal Court, you had to be a licensed practicing attorney. You're licensed by the state of Wisconsin. Well, somehow when we brought on Spencer in 2015 and Stratford in 2027, made them part of our municipal court so that their residents wouldn't have to go far distances to have their cases heard, that fell out accidentally. That part of the code fell out. So if you look at it right now, it doesn't say you have to be a licensing practicing attorney. You could be just, you could be, yes.
Be the mayor, and I can
What?
be the.
We get it wrong.
Oh, boy.
You're guilty.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Right here. Yeah.
So we want to get this back in. Judge Cruz, his term is up in April of 2027. So we want to get the council to approve, and then we want to get the village boards of Stratford and Spencer to approve to put that back in.
Yes.
Really, anybody who's acting as a judge ought to be licensed as a practicing attorney and know all the laws in the state of Wisconsin. So I think it'll be a pretty typically easy, approval.
Okay.
Not that one night. They probably won't waive the requirements. They'll just have a second reading on November 11th, but that's what it's about.
Okay, has Judge Cruz been here for a while?
Quite a while. I think
I
he
think-
might have been here when I came.
This is probably his 4th term.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he
Four-
has
4
those
years.
credentials
Yep.
anyway.
Right,
It just
right,
was
exactly.
omitted.
Yeah.
Correct.
It was
And we don't
accidentally
know if
taken out.
is it like a run for election? Is that how that?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's an election.
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
It's elected position. Yes.
And
So-
now with Spencer and Stratford on board, you could live in Marshfield or Spencer or Stratford and be
Yep,
eligible
so it
to
doesn't
run.
have to be a Marshfield judge or
Right.
a
Oh.
attorney. Yep. It can be
And
anybody.
how long is that term? Do you remember?
Oh boy, it's got
I
to be
wanna-
at least 4
I
years.
think it's 4. I think-
Yeah.
I'm pretty
yep.
sure it's
and
4.
he's been there at least
Okay.
4 terms.
So
I'm
he's
yeah,
just
yeah.
guessing.
run.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
'Cause
All right.
when I came here in 2011, I think he was on the bench. I really
Yep.
do.
I'm pretty
And
sure.
that means that you could vote even in the towns.
Now you will be able
Here,
to. Right.
just like
right.
Town
Now
of
that we put
Spencer,
these
the
other
village.
two on.
Just
Correct.
Just
the
the village of
village.
Spencer
Village
and the
of
village
Spencer and the
of
village of
Stratford.
Stratford.
So
right.
not
yep.
a town.
Not the
towns.
towns. Nope.
No.
Nope.
Is that
They're,
like- you
they're
get-
not part of it.
So if
Well,
you get
they're-
arrested,
it's not about voting.
Okay.
I mean, it's because they don't have municipal courts. The reason they get to
Right.
vote in Spencer and Stratford is because they literally have municipal courts and they're part of the contract for the operations.
okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, now I've learned something. How that
There you
works.
go.
There you go. Learn
All
something
right.
every day,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
That-
Well, that's-
definitely.
do it.
That's good.
We like that.
All right, another first reading of an ordinance of a zoning of to allow duplexes, twin homes, and townhouses as permitted uses to allow accessory dwelling units by right. You
Yeah.
talk to me and put that in a
Yeah,
little
accessory dwelling units is if you wanted to have a home in the back part of your property separate from your house. Maybe it'd be a smaller home, maybe it'd be for a relative, maybe it'd be for whatever. That is not allowed in many places. Really, it's just one principal use on a property, a typical single-family lot. So we want to make it possible in more districts to be able to do that. And that's become fairly popular. Maybe you want your mother or mother-in-law wants to come back and live, but they want to have their own separate place. This is a way to do that. But if you look at the zoning code right now, you really don't have many places where you could do that.
bit. Nowhere in the city right now.
I think there's one district, but I can't remember which one it
Oh,
is.
okay.
I think we want to add SR6. And SR6, the main thing about this code change here, Tom, is that we want to make more things possible. Right now, SR6, you can have single family or what they call 2 flats. Now, you say 2 flats versus duplex. I don't know if that gets pretty confusing,
It
doesn't
does indeed.
I think everything 2 family is the same thing.
You would think so, right? Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. The 2 flat would be side by side or up and down. Yep. So there's all kinds of lingo and jargon that goes with this. Boy, yeah, you really got to study that to know
Yeah.
exactly what it's all about.
You do. And so the idea is to make this district, because it's a lot of places we have SR6, to make it a little bit more flexible, to allow townhouses up to a certain number of units. I think it's maybe up to 4 units, and to allow twin homes and those kind of things. Give it a freedom of types of uses that you can put a house on. It doesn't just have to be single family or 2 flat. And the commission's been talking about it for quite a while.
Quite a while, yes. About the last
so,
9 months.
So if you
yeah.
turn a little bit farther into what I've got here, I think you get about 4 pages in. You see what the differences are that have been added. It's a red line in the SR6. What will be allowed now, there you go, right there. Will be allowed now that isn't today is in the red letter. Will now be, right now it's a single family and 2 flat. They'll be adding twin home, duplex, and townhouses of up to 4 units as acceptable. And then the next page, you see that we would allow accessory dwelling units, the second home, so to speak, on the lot, as an accessory use, with a if it qualifies. That's really the heart and soul of what they're looking to do.
Okay.
Be a little bit more flexible.
Correct. Yep.
Oftentimes in zoning can be very inflexible,
Yes.
and we're trying to maybe.
Well, and we're
Make
moving
it-
into the 21st century.
Yeah.
Different things happen. So we're
Yes.
excited for this to be. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are looking for different things now than they were in the 1970s.
Yes.
Yeah, or even 1990.
Right.
Yeah, right.
The word zero lot line, is that what a two flat means? You ever hear
Well,
zero lot line?
But what you have, like, say you have a twin home, okay?
Yeah.
You say, well, how can you have two families living and they both own their sides?
Yeah.
How can that be? And the property line goes right down the middle. Well, zero lot line means that where you live and I live, sharing both sides of the twin home, you could be right up to the property line. They're joined.
That's
I
what I
mean, so
thought.
how could you not have it be zero lot line?
Okay.
So that makes that possible.
Okay. All right. All right, let's move on and request, health insurance already, talking about that for the 2026 for city employees.
Yeah, I mean, we try real hard to promote consumerism with our employees, and I think we have a pretty good group. Years ago, our usage was pretty high. At one point, we had what they call 140%, which means for every dollar we were paying in premium, the company, Security Health, was paying $1.40. Well, you don't have to be a rocket science to realize that if you're Security Health, you're thinking, you give me $1 and then I pay the doctors $1.40.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Yeah, I
What's
mean,
wrong with this picture?
We're not going to make a lot of money this way.
Nope,
We're
nope.
going bankrupt. But we've become a much better customer. We're better consumers in terms of watching our dollars, encouraging people to be good consumers. We've gotten down into like the 80s and stuff like that. So anyway, we were expecting this year maybe a 10% increase in rates, though, because of some bigger claims. We've had some larger claims. And of course, employees can't control if they get
That's
a serious illness.
correct.
But we've come down a little bit in the last few months. We got that down from what we expected to be 10% down to 1.6%, lower than inflation. So, I'm sure that the council is going to say, sign up.
Absolutely, yes.
Sign up to Security Health and do it for another year. Some years we've looked at another provider. We've looked for, I think we went with a company called, what was it called, out of the Madison area one time. But we've been with Security Health most times because, again, they're right here, and they're joined in large part with the clinic. So we get the providers list that we like. And but we want to be competitive. This year it's very competitive at 1.6.
Self-insured, didn't we talk about
We've
that
talked
once?
about self-insured. We're becoming a candidate for self-insured because, when you get to the point where your claims are low, maybe you start looking at maybe we do it ourselves and get rid of the overhead. But you have to have a few good years like that before you're confident.
Right.
Otherwise, you have a couple bad years and
Boy, oh
big
boy.
claims, and now you're not looking
Now
too
you're
good.
stuck. Right.
Yeah, that you basically you're putting that money in a pot to pay,
You are. You
pay,
are.
Right.
pay the
Yeah.
claims. That's
Exactly.
kind of a risk.
It
And
is.
you've
Very
got to have
big
you've got to have what's called a reinsurance carrier,
Yeah.
which means that when you have those big ones, you have heart attacks, cancer, and those kind of things. You can't afford to pay. You've got to have
Right.
on the sideline somebody will take care of above a certain number. So, I mean, it's complicated, but we could get there. We literally could get there.
Yeah, it's kind of like a supplement later on when you get older. You got to get a supplement when you
Yes.
don't have.
You mean like
Yeah.
me? Yep.
Yeah. There you go. We're there. But really, I mean, they used to say that if you're a smaller employer like us, 200 FTE, you're not a good candidate for self-insured. But now we might be. We're talking about it with our insurance carrier to see if we might be a good candidate in the years ahead. But for right now, 1.6,
Whew.
we'll take it.
Marvelous.
We'll definitely
Absolutely.
take it. Thank you, Security Health.
Okay, and you have a few other ones in here. Sake of time, but we got 4
Yeah.
minutes yet. Vision's up there, and also dental. So
Dental.
anything
Yeah.
different on
I'll-
those?
I'll touch on those. No, there's no increase in dental. Good plan we've had for many years, and I think this is like the 4th year in a row there has not been a cost increase. There's a cap, a $2,000 cap on any 1 year for expenditures for.
on dental, probably.
On dental, yeah. And then vision covers preventative vision screening and hardware. If you're getting frames, it'll cover that. And it's a good plan, pretty cheap. You look at it as a family, it costs you $2.36 a month for family coverage. I mean,
You can't not do that.
I mean, what does it cost when you get a cup of coffee at
I get more
anywhere?
than that.
More than
Yeah,
$2.36, I'll guarantee you that. And then we also have, Tom, I'll go through them real quick. We have dependent care. That's for our employees who have child care needs, and it's a way that they can tap into pre-tax on the money that they pay. The maximum has gone up from $5,000 to $7,500. That's an IRS change, not a city change. It's an IRS. So,
Right.
reflecting the fact that healthcare, that child care costs are going up.
Pretty
In
much.
fact, finding child care
Correct.
is
Oh,
hard
Yes.
nowadays. That's a struggle. And then finally, the city's HSA account, which we established back in 2016. I did propose, and the council has given approval to, a slight decrease in the amount of money that the city puts into the HSA. It's been for many years $1,200 for a family if you're on a family plan, or $600 if you're on a single plan. We dropped that to $1,000 for a family plan, $500 for a single plan, save about $20,000. You know, I don't like doing that, and hopefully we won't have to go any lower than that. But our employees are important, and we want to continue contributing to health insurance through the HSA accounts. It's a way that people can put their own money to go along with the cities and prepare for those unreimbursed medical expenses.
Right,
It's a
definitely.
good program.
Okay, so this piece in here, and I'm reading it here, maybe just needs to be updated here because it says 2025.
Oh, it does need to be updated.
But
then, yeah,
that
sorry.
was in the
Thank you for
that's
catching
in the
that.
budget anyway for 2020. It hasn't really, right? It's
Well, we
$1,000.
budgeted, but
Is
we
it
still-
$1,000 for? It's not 1,200. It's going to be 1,000 for.
Correct.
Yeah, this whole thing needs to be
Okay.
changed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's
I
is
think I
that
cut-
the savings
I think I
of 20
cut-
grand?
Thank you for catching that. I think I cut and pasted.
Is that the
That
savings?
saves
of
about 20 grand,
Really,
roughly.
that much?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Roughly.
All right. Got it. All right. So yeah. So
Yep.
I saw that, and that's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'll correct that when I get back to my office.
All right,
It was a cut and paste operation.
Well, that happens.
it
I'll
does.
do it.
We've all been there.
Yep. Request to finalize appointment for an RFQ selection team back to Weinbrenner redevelopment
Yep.
project.
Follow up at the last meeting, we agreed that there'd be a breakdown of people. The mayor will be on that team to review the responses we get to the RFQ for Weinbrenner. 3 council members. I've got 3 volunteers. Amazing. I had 3 spaces, and Jen Dallas, Natasha Tompkins, and Scott Coran have volunteered. We're going to get 2 representatives from the CDA. Right now, we have Ashley Winch, who is their president. She was a part of it last time. They're still looking for a second person, but I'll be on it as administrator. Josh Miller, our economic development consultant, will be on. And then we're looking for a community member. That's kind of exciting. A person who knows development. And we've had 2 people throw their hat in the ring. Dave Krause from Forward Bank, who was involved, I think came to a lot of the meetings the last time and heard a lot of the discussion about what type of housing and project that would be. And then Marsha Bushman has put her hat in the ring too. Obviously a mover and shaker downtown, a lot of projects, the Coven and other things. So the council will have an opportunity to pick one of those 2 individuals, and whoever they pick, I think it will be a good
Win-win.
addition to the committee. And we look forward to having the deadline for responses, Tom, to the RFQ is November 7th. So about 2 weeks, and then we'll get that committee together, and we will review what we receive.
Okay. That RFQ is still out there.
Yep.
People want to know about it. They can look at it on the city website under RFQs. It's there.
RFQs, RFPs. Yep.
All right.
We're looking for a firm to team up with and do a project there. Council's given a little bit more clarification on what they want to see in
Yep.
a mixed-use project, and we'll see what people come up with.
All right, sounds good. And that really closes out our program for today. We don't have anything else that's really on the agenda that we can talk about right now. Otherwise, we'll see everyone on Tuesday at 6 o'clock.
And before that,
And before that, on Monday at, I don't have it here, right
6
here.
o'clock
6
as well.
o'clock there as well.
For the budget meeting.
For the budget meeting, and that would probably be the last budget meeting.
Oh, it's going to be.
Yep.
Yeah,
has
Yeah,
to be,
we've got to
yeah.
get that off to the paper for publication.
For publication. And Steve, do we have a date for that public hearing?
We do. Tuesday, the 25th of November at 6 p.m. It'll be at the beginning of that regular meeting that night, and then with a vote at the end of the night if the council wants to make any adjustments.
All right, so.
Yep.
Got time yet to think about that and bring any information up to your council member or staff here at the city. Thanks so much for joining us here on our council preview program on Marshfield Broadcasting.